Hello, everyone, and welcome to our QA webinar from Beetroot Academy. My name is Varvara. I'm PR manager of Beetroot Academy, and today I will be moderating this webinar workshop. And our main speaker is Evgenia. Say hello.
Hi there.
First of all, I want to ask you, we have a live chat working, so if you can, please just put some messages so I can be sure that you hear and see as well, that the quality of video and sound is good. I guess we have to wait for a few minutes more to let everyone join us. And I will tell you about a few words about Beetroot Academy. It will not take a lot of time, but we will let everyone join us. So I'll start sharing my screen. Evgenia, do you see it? Do you see it? Okay. Beetroot Academy is a Ukrainian Sweden tech school. We work since 2014 in Ukraine and abroad. And we believe that in 21st century, high quality tech education is available for everyone. And we know that the tech industry is one of the most fast growing industries in the world. So it's quite accessible for everyone who want to learn tech, who want to develop his skills in tech. And here is a random facts about us. That almost 7,000 people were trained for tech, and our employment rate is almost 70%, or more than 70%. Our students are starters, sailors, and switchers. Starters are those who, this is usually university graduates, who just start their professional careers. Sailors are people who have an experience in other fields, in tech, I mean, and they want to switch a bit or gain new skills, so they come to us to find a new profession and gain new knowledges and skills. And switchers are people who might have a huge experience in any other field, but they decided that tech industry gives them more opportunities to grow, maybe to earn more, so they also come to us. And this proves again that tech education is available for everyone, no matter where they are, no matter how old are they. So 61% of our graduates are women, and 65% are people that live outside the main tech hubs. They live in small cities and villages, and they need just a laptop and a stable internet connection to study. Also, we use flipped classroom model. This means that you don't waste time on your lessons to read something, to read theory, or to watch some videos. You already have these materials in our learning management system, and you can do it at home. It's any convenient time before the lesson, and you use the time on lessons just to make practice and to ask some questions, to clarify something with our teacher. So this is much more effective, I guess. Also the last random fact is that we were sure that people need not only hard skills, but also soft skills to succeed in tech or in any other field, actually. And we provide not only education, but also support after the graduation. We have a vast network of partners. We have community support. We have mentorship programs. So you're not alone, even if you finished the education. A few words also about QA manual course. The nearest group starts by the end of September. You can see here on this slide how many time it takes and what are the actual requirements. If you have time 3 times per week to study, you can come to us. And the last thing I want to say, that for those who will stay with us today till the end, I will give a promo code for a 15% discount on this course. So if you're interested, just wait for us. Well, Evgenia, I guess this is your turn to come on stage. Evgenia will tell us more about the QA profession. She will tell about her own path, what requirements are for this field. And the one thing I want to remind you is that the live chat is working during the whole webinar. So you can ask your questions there and I will pass them to Evgenia. Evgenia, you can start.
Thank you. So, guys, I'm really have pleasure to tell a bit about my profession, about a profession I'm still feel passionate at, and we will talk a bit about testing itself, what it is, and we'll talk how to understand that you have really some skills already for this profession and how to define your inner QA or inner QA superpower. And let's start with a small introduction. I will talk a bit about me. Now I'm in software testing for a bit more than 6 years, working as a QA technical lead in big product company. Had a lot of experience in web application testing, some experience in mobile as well. Already have chance to build a big QA team from scratch, and already worked in a really huge amount of different areas, business areas. I mean, it was auto washes on one my project and telecom operators on another. So it's really different areas and really different experience. And I want to add one important thing that I still really love this job and still don't feel exhausted or boring of it. I really enjoy that this job allows you to make some things around you better, improve world a bit, and have a chance to grow over yourself every day. Here is a QR code with my LinkedIn profile if something is interested, but it's like small information to add and to take place on this slide. Let's move forward to our main goal, and I want to start not from plan, but I would love to share some small video with you. And I think this video will be a kind of introduction for why quality assurance and testers are really important in our lives. And let's see. So as you can see, even very fancy looking kitchen can be not in operative state if it wasn't tested well, if someone didn't spend some time to make sure that everything will work and everything will work in combination, not only separately. Like and let's move forward.
Kitchen.
Not only kitchen as well, yeah. And today we will talk about quality assurance. We'll understand who is QA engineer, who is this mystery guy we are going to talk about. We'll talk also about soft skills that are really needed for QA engineer, because hard skills, some technical skills are really important, but soft skills is also a key to this profession. And I will share with you some brief view of possible paths for your future development, like kind of what can I expect from this field and how can I grow. We will see the possibilities in this area. And I want you to scan this QR code or use this link with a code to attend in this presentation, because I will need your action sometimes. When you can just scan it or go through this link and use this code on the top, or here is it as well. It will be helpful. You will see this small heart on different slides and you can react. So I would see that you're still here and still listening. It would be helpful, and there will be some small quizzes for you. We will try to become real QAs on this session, so join.
Yeah, guys,
this information.
Not to ignore this, because it really gives you an opportunity to participate a little bit more than just being a listener in this webinar. So join us. Put a heart, please.
Yeah, and it will help me to feel you, not seeing you, but feeling that you are here. So let's start our talking from what is quality assurance. Let's discuss it a bit. I want to make a small step out and tell that quality assurance, in our meaning, it is a part of software development process. I'm sure that everyone here have his smartphone, have a laptop with lots of different applications. Statistics say that we are using almost from 10 to 30 applications per day. So in our everyday life, we're using a lot of it, and each application, each website, each desktop application we are using, even Zoom or YouTube, which are helping us today, are a result of someone's job, some developers and some quality engineers. And QA and developers, these people are making software. Developers are inventing it, writing some code, but QA or testers, they can be called, provide full support and try to be on the side of a user. So testing means that we can prove that user of any application will have successful experience, will enjoy application, will enjoy some of its features, and will not face some issues. And a lot of people think that testing is just looking for some bugs, searching for them, and that's it. It is not so, and I will share you some background from this process. Let's imagine that we want to develop some, for example, fitness application with some exercises, with planning maybe food for a day or something like that. We have this idea. So every project, every application, every site starts with idea. And in this stage, we cannot just call developers to say them, make this very fancy looking and working good. No, we need to understand how people will use such application, what needs our users have. And on this stage, QA engineers can join team and can help to analyze requirements and help to understand how we can move in our project, how can we plan all activities, what do we will need in our process. And really quality assurance start with this stage of analysis requirements, with collecting everything that we will need. After that, of course, real development, real coding is started. And on this stage, we are not waiting, still sitting still and waiting when application will be released. Now, QA engineers, testers can prepare different documentation, can try to imagine how user will use one or another feature, which exact scenarios is needed to be covered. And it's kind of creativity in this point, because we cannot do testing for ages. It is impossible. This application will not be needed for market anymore. But we can try to accumulate our mind, our all ideas and creativity, put them together and create some scenarios, prepare them and use for testing in future. And it will help us to not waste time, but do our job really effectively. So in this stage, we are preparing lots of documentation, trying to cover all tricky places and to make sure that our users will really enjoy application. The real testing stage starts in a parallel with development, when we can try and touch our application itself. And here we really test, we really search for some defects, try to work of QA is sometimes trying to broke something. We are developers do not like this approach, but sometimes it's really needed to understand whether our site will not fall down when, for example, Rammstein concert is planned and ticket sale is going, and lots of people want to join this concert, and they are in one moment try to buy tickets and site fails. It will be very, very disappointing for all, for team who is preparing this concert, for users customers who plan to visit it, and QA engineers try to prevent such situation, try to count this scenario and verify that everything will go smoothly. And the most interesting phase, it's release. During release, we also provide lots of support. Sometimes QA engineers can even communicate with end users, because end users provide feedback and we need to collect it, maybe make some improvements based on users on usage result, on some feedback and something like that. And QA engineers always help application to be stable, to be safe. So on all stages of software development, QAs are really, really important. And I want to mention one more important thing. It is like a brief view of 4 skills which are needed, but we will discuss it like a kind of responsibility of QA. QA is people who communicates really, really a lot. And our communication is related to development team, guys who are writing code, and with customer. So we need to collaborate with lots of people and try to understand customer needs, owner of this idea, developers who are fully technical persons and writing code, and also a bit creative and want to use the best approaches. So QA try to understand both sides and make a product as good as possible. We are trying to really do our best to make result perfect. And I want to show you one interesting quote, which I love really a lot. Quality is everyone's responsibility. It is a really important point because everyone in a team have responsibility for the result. But one interesting thing here is that QA is the last point before real user. So everyone have a responsibility, but our responsibility is like not highest, but really, really important. If we didn't find some problem, it will be found by users and it will disappoint them, and it is not a good result of our job. So QA is a bit of like quality gate, like a goalkeeper in a team who are preventing all from some fail. And let's move forward. Let's summarize a bit what QA engineers or testers are doing in their job. First of all, they communicate a lot, as I said already. Communication with team, with customer. Sometimes in huge projects, some designers can be involved. So lots of people who involved in process are communicating with QA engineer, and he communicate with them, trying to make a product better every day. Also, QA engineers analyze software requirements. Sometimes requirements are written by non-technical persons. So someone has an idea, but sometimes it's not real, or some different ideas can be interrupted by one another. So we need to analyze requirements, and sometimes some bugs are hiding in requirements as well. Of course, our job is creating documentation, testing applications. It is a really huge part of this job. Writing bug reports is also important. And one of my favorite things in QA job, I really love the most, it is making improvement in team process. Because saying about doing testing, it's clicking some buttons, looking for some cute designs, verifying that button have green color, not red, or something like that. But quality assurance, it is about making not only exact product, but all process better, making all team feel more comfortable in this process, making all the stuff going more smooth, making everything in order, doing better organization in job between developers, between QAs, between different departments sometimes, because several teams can work on the same project. So these points of communication and points of improvement are really interesting but hard part of QA engineer's job. And let's move to skills that can be required to QA engineers. I will share with you this slide, and you can write which skills, to your opinion, are useful for QA role, for this responsibilities that we are talking about.
So please just write any words. I guess almost everything will fit. And while you're writing, I probably will ask Evgenia one of the questions from our registration form. And it sounds like, is coding knowledge required for quality assurance, Linux knowledge, SQL, and Excel knowledge?
I would say it depends, but I would explain. Coding knowledge is a really huge plus for QA. But it is not a requirement for starting job in quality assurance. You can start having basic knowledge, understanding. So to start, it is important to understand basic QA theory, to know some basic tools like how to test web application, where I can find error if something failed. But it's not some rocket science for sure. And coding, it can be like a next step for development, even if you want, for example, if you want to grow in QA automation. So in this case, coding will be must, but for start, it is for sure not required. As for knowing Linux and knowing SQL, it is also not like not required point for job, but SQL is more often, or like more often facing skill in different vacancies, in different job explanations, because a lot of projects have databases and you would need to understand them. But I would say that a couple of maybe evenings of work, there are a lot of different tools to learn SQL, for example. It is not such hard. So level of knowing it is should be basic for starting, but it's not required for every position, every other position. Linux as well, it depends on project, but it would be fine if you just understand that it's operation system, it have terminal, and you can Google some basic actions, but there are no need to have lots of experience to become, for example, junior or trainee QA engineer. Oh, we have some results already.
Words. Yeah.
I missed them talking about skills, technical skills, but here are so many interesting points: being organized, being responsible, being empathetic, passion, passion. Oh, passion is it's really important, because sometimes you feel really angry of some bug or something like that, but you need to be passionate and keep doing what you are doing. Desire to study, yeah, for sure. It's really important, because it is a sphere which is developing every day, and you need to learn something new every day. Eye to details, curiosity, creativity, analytical set of mind. All of these skills you mentioned are really really important and will be really useful for this role. And if you see something in your personality, you can make a checkpoint that it is first step for becoming a QA. And all of these things are really important. And I would share with you which personal characteristics are useful for being QA from my side as well. But some of them are mentioned here already. So let's start. First one, it is a willingness to make an order in some chaos. It is about being organized, loving to improve something, even if your everyday life, when you are making order on your working desk and prefer to have everything in a proper place. It is important because you would, if you have such characteristics, you would see some tricky bugs that cannot be seen by other person, because you have this point of everything should be perfect, everything should be on the right place. So this characteristic is it can irritate your close friends or maybe some relatives, because you are trying to organize them as well. But this is a field where you can use it, and it will be helpful for everyone, and everyone will thank to you for doing this.
Yeah, more
other skill
irritating.
Other skill I think is really important, and it was already mentioned by someone. It is empathy. It is being empathetic to people. As I have said, QA is a lot about communication. And of course, in this communication, we need to hear people who are talking to us. We need to try to understand their needs and try to understand what they're feeling. When we are testing something, it is really important to try to step in shoes of our user and try to become in his place and understand how this person will use this application, and how this application can simplify the life of other people. So will my job do somebody's life better and improve something? It is really important, and I cannot call it like skill, but this characteristic is really good for starting this profession. Other one, it is a bit related to the first one. It is perfectionism. I know that sometimes perfectionists they're not very loved people by their colleagues or something like that. But in this job, perfectionism and being really attentive to some small details, to some points is really important. Really important, not only like making sure that this button have size of 12 pixels, not 13. It is important also in hearing someone when you can notice some small points in discussion, and for example, ask your colleague, "Oh, you mentioned this a couple of conversations ago. Can we use it in this case? Can it be useful here, or can we improve this point in such way?" It will be really helpful and really good applying of this skill as well. And other one, it is also was mentioned in your points. It is desire to learn something new. It is really important and a really good point. If you have this willingness to learn every day, to learn something new, quality assurance, it is a good point to look at. It is a good role to look at, because IT industry, software development is really growing every day. Some technologies are changing, some new tools appearing every day, every year. And if you have this desire, if you have this willingness to learn, QA role can give you this possibility. And it is a really good point for growth. It is a set of characteristics. Try to catch something similar in your your personality, and let's move to exact skills which will be needed. And some of them also will duplicate these characteristics. And let's talk about soft skills needed for QA role. This is really needed points. First one, it is attention to details. It is about being organized, being able to be attentive to some requirements, being good in reading some requirements and understanding them, being attentive to, again, to your colleagues, hear well your customer, understand what you're talking about, and always being focused on everything that's going around you. Other important skill, it is communication. It is, I know that a lot of technical people are not, maybe not, I cannot say that they are not really good in conversation, but they do not like communicate a lot. In QA role, it is hard not to communicate, because you will really need to communicate with customer, to communicate with dev team, to ask questions. And on this perspective, I would say that communication is not only like small talk or something like that. No, it is more about asking questions. Good QA will not find some problem, understand that he didn't know what to do, and leave it as it. No, good QA will ask, try to find answer maybe in documentation, trying to ask himself how it can be solved, try to ask someone in a team. And this skill to ask a good question that will uncover something new, some unexpected things. Sometimes it is a really good point, and improving your communication skills, both written and verbal, is really important in QA role. And other skill is often mentioned in some job descriptions, for example. It is problem-solving skills. It is also about ability to find decision, not just finding bug and throwing it into your developer and saying, hey, catch it, do something with it. No, it is more about trying to uncover a key of a problem, trying to solve it in some way, trying to involve people who can do it, and sometimes not just solve some problem, but provide decision for future usage, like try to share your knowledge, not just find it for yourself, but share it with team and make it your experience useful for others. And again, we are returning again to empathy. Being empathetic in QA role, it is really must, from my opinion, because it is about ability to, as I said, step in your customer shoes, understand them well, and also sometimes, when a team is working on product and sometimes maybe customer changed his decision and want to do something in another way, and everyone feel frustrated, maybe not such good atmosphere in a team. And in this point, QA is often become a heart of team, like making everyone staying together. It is like this important point when everyone can come to you and tell what went wrong, discuss it with you, and go with after this talk with a smile and with some desire to do something new and do something better. And this ability to be empathetic to everyone who you're working with and to your users who you don't know still, it is really important point. And if you have this skill in your personal life, it will be really useful in working as QA engineer as well. And let's move to another side, or maybe we have questions here.
Yeah, I see one question that fits this part in our registration form. We already talked about creativity, but the question is like the second part of this question is even more interesting. It sounds this way. To what degree can you use creativity in this career? Does QA mean you would need to follow a checklist and ensure each point is executed correctly? Guess you should mention that yes, QA doesn't have like one strict guide, like checklist. They usually do it by themselves.
Yeah, having one strict guide wasn't be such interesting. It would be kind of monkey clicking and not growing away yourself. I can say that limits of creativity in your job, it's only your imagination. On different projects, there are so many different things that you can test and you can like imagine and trying to cover. From this perspective, sometimes QA engineers are also point of some improvements and new ideas to the project, because you are a person who knowing project better than others. You are seeing it every day. You are knowing each pros and cons of your application, and you can suggest something new. And I really know a lot of cases when improvement suggested by QA team was applied and was implemented and got really good feedback from real users. So you can use the skills in testing part and also in improving product you're working on. So no limits here.
Mm-hmm. I see. Great answer, I guess. Thank you. We can move
and
other questions.
Yeah, I
in the end.
As a question here.
No, I will leave it till the end.
Okay. Covering something
from
me.
No, I see one more question. Sorry. It sounds like, what makes an exceptional QA and how to get there?
Oh, it's an interesting point, and happy to hear that someone is thinking of becoming really exceptional in this role. I would say that exceptional QA is a person who, first of all, it's not about technical skills. It will be about soft skills more, to my opinion, because if you can hear people around you, if you can understand them, and you can really become a heart of a team, it is this exceptional QA. I know I have experience with such people, and sometimes it is like being proud to work with such person. Of course, technical skills are also important, and it's a plus. And when you are learning every day, and when you are taking new courses, attending some webinars, conferences, do some knowledge sharing, it will make you better QA, because this everyday exchange in this knowledge transfer, it is a good key, because QA community is really huge, and there are a lot of different like online communities, something like that, and being able to not just doing your job really good, but share this experience with others and let them become as good as you in some exact sphere. It is a point to become really cool.
Exceptional one. I see one more question on our live chat. He told about that QA sometimes becomes the heart of a team. And Valerie is asking, can you tell more as QA, how can you make a team improvement and motivation?
There are lots of interesting way. As I say, QA can improve not only product, but process of our work. Sometime in my experience as well, we tried in team different approaches. So this week or this month, we do our job like one by one. On other week or months, we decided to change the order, to change the responsibilities, maybe to involve some developers in part of QA job, to show each other how it works from your side. And do some kind of exchange. It is also helpful to make some like retrospective sessions. It's like a time when all team can say when you decide that everyone said here will be here, and no one will go with bad things thoughts out after it, and you can just share feedback on your colleague and being very precise and very open to your colleagues. It is also key to improving communication in team. Even if someone is failing something, you can just come to this person and talk to him and try to understand, because sometimes not sometimes, very often, lots of issues are hidden in that side that people are not talking to each other, and overthinking some cases, some situation.
Yeah, I see. Thanks. I guess we can move forward. So we'll leave time for questions.
Okay, and so I would show this question to you. I'm sure that lots of you heard it at least once on your interview, or maybe at university or somewhere else.
My favorite
and
question from recruiters, like, how do you see yourself?
yeah,
5 years.
and it's really hard to answer. It's and sometimes you start hating this question, because I try to imagine what to do tomorrow. Stop asking me about it. And to be able to understand whether quality assurance is your path and the thing that is interesting for you, I would like to share with you a brief view of possible paths of growth, of like the ways you can choose in your future when you already become a QA, and where you can move and how can you grow over yourself. Because it is really hard to say how do you see yourself when you're starting bright new role, starting something new in new area. And before sharing all possible paths, I would share with you my own, and will tell you a bit about how I developed myself, and where from I started this way. I worked in some small it was internet shop, but for very local place, and there was some new website developed, and it was really interesting for me to look how real developers doing their job. And I asked it. I was just the manager who coordinated stuff there, and I asked it, can I test new site? Can I click something and maybe I will find some problem? I didn't understand that it was testing or quality assurance but it was really interesting for me, and I decided that I need to get to know more about this profession. So this was my point, to go to manual QA courses and start my way with that, to understand whether is it really such interesting, or it was just in this case, and I will need to switch to something else. And after that courses, I understood that it is really my path, and I want to continue moving in it. I have succeeded to get my first job after these courses. It wasn't like in one step, but it is really possible to switch from some other area and start your career in quality assurance. My first job as junior QA was really interesting. Lots of people, everyone in the team was more experienced as me. And I have a lot of mentors, teachers who shared this knowledge with me. And after that, I was growing, and my first point when I understand that I become better over myself, it was a time when I started to mentor someone myself, mentoring newcomers, sharing my knowledge. And I understood that there are no some limitation, no some cell or me where I can stop. It is endless process, and I need to continue it. So next point was informal leading team. I already have my manager, but there was some team that needed some management leading, and it was also interesting experience. And after that, it wasn't couple of years later, I become a QA lead and led team of over 10 engineers, built this team from scratch, hired every participant of this team, and really enjoy working with my own team when everyone is important part of this big puzzle. And as you can see, my path was moving to from manual QA, junior manual QA, to team lead. And I would show you other possible ways, because there are some other to choose. If we are talking of quality engineer, there are two main ways to choose. First one, it is growing on your hard skills. And first, it is growing over you technically, becoming better in testing something. For example, you can choose some exact specialization. In your first job, you can test maybe web application, maybe it will be mobile, maybe you would be interested in some security testing related to banking area, or maybe some government programs. So becoming a QA and growing in this area, increasing hard skills, learning new tools, it is a chance to become really a kind of technical expert with some exact specialization. Web testing, mobile, something like that. It can be performance. And lots of companies are looking for this exact specialist to build some process for them. And it is really important part of all software development area. Other skills are more related to changing position, because growing as technical expert, it is a growing as QA engineer, and sharing your knowledge in this area. Other paths are more about some kind of switching. Other one based on hard skills and based on technical background, it is growing to developer role. Not growing, like changing your path to development. If you feel really interested in learning some coding languages, in coding itself, you can try in parallel working as QA. You try to learn some language to make some automation on your project, to get some practice. And then if you feel that it is really yours, you can switch to development and continue your path on this role. In this point, it is important to mention that lots of companies providing you this chance, because companies are interested in your growth, and if it matches the company goals, company will help you to grow the skills, to learn, to find some interesting courses, some interesting conferences, to get new knowledge and apply them on your job. And as on one hand, and on the other hand, we have soft skills, growing in a soft skills. And first one, it is about management. It is about leadership. If you feel really confident in communication, if you feel really confident in people management, some risk management, you can choose this path and grow, for example, from a QA lead to QA manager, maybe to some department manager as well. So you can choose this kind of growth, kind of development, also taking some courses, improving your skills, trying to maybe lead some small team for beginning, and then increase your skills. As a point also related to changing position a bit, it is about going more to analysis, requirement analysis, business analysis as well. When you're interested in working with some analytics, with working also with communication, because business analyst has lots of communication with customers, with development teams as well. And if you feel confident in this area and have good analytical skills, you can think about this path. Sometimes maybe someone already have seen such examples. There are lots of positions of QA analyst, not just business analyst. So it is position in between of these two ways, and you can also be an analytic in quality assurance. And maybe some question here, or we would.
Let me look through our questions chat. Yeah, this is like very questions that does not relate actually to this part of your presentation, but I can ask you, for example, our favorite question to any professional have, how to start actually. Where can you get an experience in testing if you don't get hired without experience?
It is really hard, but it is possible. For example, lots of courses that I know helps their students to find positions. Some companies provide courses on their basis and help some like best students to find their job and taking them for work. For example, of course, you can also maybe ask your friends if someone has his business and starting maybe some cafe or something like that, which have site or some application, and you can ask, oh, can I help you with testing? Can I just propose you this kind of work? Also, you can try to open application you're frequently using, read QA theory and try to go through them and test. Try to find some issues, some maybe badly understandable parts and something like that. It is also point of learning, and I have hired people without experience on some trainee or junior position, and lots of companies are open to hire people without experience just with theoretical base, because like it is a very good point to grow your own professional and to teach a person yourself to make his knowledge better for your product exactly. And it is also a point, it is not impossible for sure.
Mm-hmm. I see. And one more question is, how can you practice QA and keep a portfolio to use it as a display of your skills or experience?
It is really hard to make some portfolio for QA because there are like we do not have some exact code to share or something like that, show our project. For QA role, it's really often we have a different like testing task when you can show how you can write a test case, how you can write a bug report. It is a really popular things since being asked. And for example, you can practice on some site you are using and write this list of test cases, write an example of bug reports, and if you will be asked, you can share these examples as proof of your knowledge. But in QA job, it is. I haven't faced cases when you are really asked about sharing exact portfolio and showing it.
You can just share the projects you worked with, and if If it doesn't
If they are good.
bugs, they can check. Yes, if it works correctly, then you're fine. You can be hired. And one more, I guess, and we will leave all the others till the end. Can you work from home? And what are the hours? I guess hours depends on the project or not. Do you have some?
Both hours and working place depends on your project. Now, lots of project provides ability to work from home. Even I still working from home now. Lots of companies, it just depends on product, because sometimes some software development products are related to hardware development itself. For example, you can work for Amazon with their smart home devices, and you need to come to office to take this cameras or some other stuff and test it physically as well. But for project, like for some, maybe some games, some websites, some fully web project or fully mobile applications, you can work from home, and it is possible. Lots of companies provide this ability, provide you a laptop for work or other kind of computer, or maybe some testing devices. In this life and in this situation after 2020 year, all world changed, and remote work is also like a kind of benefit of QA, being a QA.
Thank you. Thank you. You can move on.
So other point I want to share with you, it is about trying to become a real QAs and trying to find some bugs, some problems, issues together. I will share with you a couple of screens with two options. There will be like one design and another, and you can look at it and to try to guess which one is better, which one has defects or not. And there will be kind of voting. I would share with you these images. This is the first one. Option 1 and option 2, where we have the same fields, but a bit different formatting, a bit different highlights, and try to guess which one is better, which one will go through our quality gates. So try to guess it. And you would have this option to make a vote.
Option 1 is on the left side and option 2 on the right side. Just to clarify.
To be sure, yeah. Clarifying requirements, it is a part of our job, so it's important. We see here answers, and they are correct. Option 2 was better. We will discuss it at the end. So I cannot see other answers. Let's move to another example. Here we also have a form with different fields and also have a kind of error message. Let's try to guess which one is a good one in this side.
I guess if someone lost the link to it, you can just check yourselves. Just choose something, and then we'll check if you choose correctly.
Oh, I see that you're also doing good and finding correct ones. It is a good point. Let's try another one. Here we also have some fields, but with different formatting. Which one, to your opinion, is better?
This looks fun. It seems like we have prepared QA engineers.
Yeah. Our last one will be a bit more tricky. Maybe someone will be catched here, but let's see. This is another example. It is login form, and let's try to guess which one is the best one, which one is correct.
I guess something is like...
Oh, no voting yet available. I misclicked on this button, sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, still good results. Thank you. Let's discuss a bit what we're seeing there. Here we have a kind of a login form, and on the one side we have just error. And here we have good explanation and highlighting in red color, and also propose the user to reset the password, not just saying, oh, you failed, go away. We trying to make customer experience a bit better, and passwords, it is often being forgotten, so ability to reset it and recall, it is a good chance, and it is really better example. And here another one, on this part we have validation message that shows that we didn't have this sign yet, and it would be better to add it. And we show the instruction of allowed formats. On this side, we just say, oh, it's fault. It doesn't match database, but our users shouldn't think about our database. It's our problem, and we should not show such information for users and make them in this situation of being not being understanding what's going on.
Is it a real example? I'm sorry. Is so someone really...
Some of them, not everyone, but yeah. Sometimes it is really happening, and with very famous sites and application as well. Sometimes, yeah, it is possible. On this slide, we have different like bullets to click, and in this slide, it is really more understandable for user to have them on the same place. But I would say that here is an issue with formatting because they are not aligned well, but it is really better than have this bullet on this left side of screen, right side of screen, and looking where to click. It is better to organize all items in good order, in the same order on all places. And the last one, these two forms are both really good. There are no like kind of defect on them, but we understand that it's really like more accurate and more understandable for user to have different layout and different background of buttons to understand which one need be used here for login and which one is needed for registration. And forgotten password is like more often is seen as a link, and it is more understandable and better kind of design for our users. And you catch it all these issues and find them, so it's also a good start. And that's it from my side. Maybe some other questions from you?
Yeah, sure. There is a question from our live chat. It's not quite like concrete. Can you talk a little about Agile testing and V-model testing? A little.
It is really hard to talk a little because
maybe we should ask I clarify this question. Maybe some details are needed.
No, I think I can answer, but it is really a huge topic to tell. Agile means that something is really flexible. It means that sometimes and really often it is more famous model for lots of projects. We do not have exact requirements now. We know like we have brief plan and we know where we are moving, but we like doing some part of application and trying to increment it, add something new, look how it will work, maybe change something, throw some part out, and reorganize something. It is about being agile, about this flexibility and changes. In agile approach, testing is applied in parallel with development, and application and or site or something else can be tested more often, and you need to provide feedback on quality more often. And it gives really good results because team is always in communication with customer, and you can define if you're moving in not the right direction really on the early stages. The model, it is about doing everything one by one. When we trying to collect all requirements, then we try to write all the code, and only on the last stage we are doing testing. In this approach, we can get some quality results and results of testing on the later stages. So we have no such flexibility and more time to change. But for some projects, different models will suit for different projects. So it is not really hard to switch from one model to another. But for QA engineers, it is important to understand differences between different models. But Vim model is not such often used now on projects.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 80% will be some agile approaches. It's mostly used.
Okay, let's move to another question. I don't know the meaning actually. How can you grow your analytical thinking, and how can you be a part of QA team without any experience? We talked already about the experience, I guess, before, and I will leave the link in the navigation under this video if you want to hear it again. And also, where can you practice the theory, because all trainings are theoretically? I guess not all trainings.
Not all. I have just finished. My students have finished their course with me in a group. I also teach in QA in Beetroot Academy, and maybe I would say that over 60% of our job, it is a practice, because we have some theory. Of course, it is our background we are standing on, but most part of course here it is related to practice, to learning some exact tools, to learning SQL, to learning API testing, to learning some approaches for testing mobile applications, testing web, and we're trying to do more practice because it helps students and help future QAs to grow, to get this experience, to get some knowledge, and it is really possible. Not all courses are theoretical. You just need to understand that theory is needed because it is a background. It gives you understanding of how it works inside, and then you can increase it and increment your knowledge by some practical skills.
Okay, then yes, we'll continue the topic about courses and answer a question: how much is course price? Is the first part of the question, and I will answer it. To have, we can't tell you now the course price, because if you remember, I told that at the end of this webinar, I will give you a promo code for a discount, 15%, and I can't calculate now so fast. So if you will use this promo code, our managers will tell you how much the course costs. And the second part of this question is for you, Evgenia. And if there are any requirements related with previous experience in this field that are mandatory for applicants in such training course?
It is a bit related to slide you where I mentioned that there are people from some technical areas and there are switchers from everywhere. And in my latest group, I have a doctor. I have some people from banking area. Have people from also teaching. Some people from sport, and of course, someone was related to some technical area. But it is there are no some exact skills, technical background you need to have before starting some course, for example, because all theory, all these practical skills can be reached. You can spend maybe a couple of months or a bit more very of learning, of studying every day, or at least day by day, to get this knowledge. And there are no limitation if to change from maybe some humanitarian area to technical one, to IT itself.
Mm. And I see in our live chat a question: how do I get your contact? I'm not sure if this is my contact or Evgenia contact. Evgenia left, maybe you should just come back to that slide where you left a QR code for your LinkedIn. If you want to get a contact of the Academy, I will leave all the links that can be found in our profile. And so I will leave them tomorrow when I will publish the record of this video. We have the last question for this time, I guess. And this is for you, is the ISTQB certificate enough to start a career in testing?
Oh, it's interesting, and it's good that you know about ISTQB. ISTQB, it is a really really countable kind of measure of QA professional experience, but I would say that it's not needed for start for sure. It is mostly about moving from maybe junior role to middle QA, like growing in your experience. In some companies, I know that this certificate is required to become getting a senior role in some increasing in your position and becoming more skilled. But for starting, it is not required. It is good. It is very good to know about it, to learn ISTQB glossary, to practice their tests. It really gives a good theory basis, but it is not required, and it will be a bit complicated to start with it.
Mm-hmm. So by now, I don't see new questions. I thank you, Evgenia, for your amazing presentation, for everything you told us. And I wish all of you a good evening, and good evening for you, Evgenia.
Have a great day. Bye.